this experience, these are the episodes of the Gamer's Frontier, to boldly talk gaming into your ear. These are the GamerMen.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the GamerMen. I'm the Earth Nerd known as Mike.
And I'm Firestorm.
And basically, there's not an awful lot that's been going on in the news. Part of the reason for that is I've not been able to keep on touch of it because I've been without the internet for a few days. But what we've been able to come up with little bit for this episode is Microsoft have announced that they're going to be broadcasting on Xbox Live on the 4th of June at 5:30 UK time their E3 conference or briefing, or whichever it is that you want to call. One of the things that's rumoured to be mentioned in there is the fact that Microsoft is likely to launch an Xbox 360 and Kinect bundle priced at $99, which obviously will be offset by a monthly subscription fee of $15 to run for 2 years, which will include an Xbox Live Gold membership and possibly some additional streaming content from gaming providers and sports package providers. Total add up to this, from what we can work out between the two of us, is obviously going from what the current Xbox 360 bundle and Kinect bundle sells for is around about 250 quid, which is $299, while 2 years of Xbox Live Gold membership is about $120, which works out about £80. Something else that's been information-wise that's come out is Saints Row the Third, which I still have actually to play, is getting a standalone expansion, which is called Enter the Dominatrix. From what we can find from kicking around on the internet, is that this is actually rumoured to be having superpowers in it, which
could be a superhero.
Yeah, or a supervillain by the sounds of it. So it could be a bit of a giggle, actually.
It's definitely going to be a new way of looking at it, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm looking forward to finding out is obviously Bethesda are well known for their RPGs, you know, and especially the Elder Scrolls series. I mean, Skyrim, as we've mentioned before, one of the most fantastic games. That's actually got some DLC coming out in the summer of this year, I believe it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm hoping so anyway.
Well, that's what they've announced, and if I remember rightly, it's called Skyrim Dawnguard. God knows what the hell's going to be in it.
Yeah, actually, by the way, if you have a look on the GamerMen website, we should have a small piece about it.
Yes, that was actually reblogged from, and I've no idea how to pronounce the guy's name, but it's actually a reblog from another blog that we've actually found. So that's one of the things. If you've got a blog there, give us a shout. Let us know. We can maybe link it in and tie it into the GamerMen. The other thing that we were going to mention that has disappeared off my screen is obviously as we were going on about, the Elder Scrolls games. Bethesda have announced that Elder Scrolls Online should be out there in 2013. Which is going to be a massive multiplayer online. The possible problem with that is obviously we don't know how much it's going to cost and how much it's basically going to be a pain in the backside to use. How much different is it going to be from the Elder Scrolls games itself? I mean, personally, the way that they've done Skyrim is fantastic, and I do think that they could. If they made the online game like that, I personally think that it would be a big hit because it would match the controls so perfectly.
To be honest, mate, I really don't look forward. Well, I'm not looking forward to it if they're making it online. It's something about it being an RPG that just says to me, don't put it online for fuck's sake, because you might ruin it. I mean, it's a good game. The second you put it online, it's going to be a bit like bloody World of War, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say you've got World of Warcraft, which is renowned and whatnot, but obviously you've got all these other ones which you can play up to a certain level, which you can do now with World of Warcraft. You play up to a certain level, and then it all goes belly up from there, really, doesn't it? You
Yeah.
get to a certain level, and it's like, oh dear, I've now got to pay for this. And obviously, if you don't particularly like it or whatever, you won't be paying for it. You've played it. You can see you've played it. Personally, I paid for it when I was playing World of Warcraft when the Burning Crusade came out. The highest level I got to my character was about level 22. Found that quite a lot of people, if you weren't one of these World of Warcraft junkies, that you these people would be like 3 or 4 levels higher than you, and they wouldn't want you hanging around with you, because obviously they wanted to be in these other levels that were higher up, which was a bit of a shame because it did lose a lot of its community and whatnot.
I have to say, I used to run around with a kid that was very much like that,
Yeah.
When he was on World of Warcraft, oh, I'm higher ranked than you, I must be better than you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well,
It shoots himself in the foot, basically, because he ended
yeah.
up with no fucking mates, but hey ho.
But the other thing is, though, I mean, take Second Life, one of the biggest online games that you can get. It's free. All you do is you create an avatar and you just go around. It's like a virtual chat room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest with you, I think Second Life was really good because you can go off, you can do sort of role play if you find people that are able to do all these different things. You can go off and role play. I mean, one of the problems that you get though is obviously if you create a male character, people don't tend to like sharing the stuff with you. Yet if you create a female character, you get blokes chatting you up and all sorts, and it's you can mash your character up massively. Do you know what I mean? It is ridiculous. So obviously, the Elder Scrolls Online, I think they might narrow out a lot of people who actually played sort of like Skyrim and Oblivion, but at the same time, I think they could possibly acquire newer people into it if as well. The biggest announcement that's been this past week is of Black Ops 2. Now, we have mentioned previously that there's been rumours of Black Ops 2 and everything, but they were obviously being denied and stuff. It's now actually...
Yeah. Surprise, it came out yesterday.
Yep, surprise, there's been a trailer announced, which, to be quite honest with you, from looking at it, I think this is actually going to put Call of Duty back on the map after the atrocity of Modern Warfare 3.
Well, thing is, we can't just say it's atrocious, and we can't just say all these bad things about it.
Yes, we
If
can.
you're big, we can. That's part of our job now. If you look at all the rest of the Call of Duty series, I've got all the Call of Duty series apart from some of the early ones, and I still love them. I just want to know why at the end one when it most matters, on the third bloody installment of Modern Warfare, although it were a really good game and I did enjoy it, is it just not as good as the one before it? And then that one's not as good as the one before that.
You see, to me, they've done the right thing with Call of Duty. They've kept all the achievements for it offline. So you can do all the achievements offline, get 100% gamer score on it, and not have to,
go online,
not have to play the multiplayer to get it. Which is one of the things I do actually admire about the Call of Duty games.
Yeah,
Even though it's got such a vast, massive multiplayer, they keep all the achievements to offline. And personally, I think every game should have.
It should be like that.
100% the achievements should be offline, and the extra achievements that you would get, for example, online. Because I mean, now if you look at games like Halo, Gears of War, Call of Duty, Battlefield, those games that you actually play online, you're getting medals, you're unlocking weapons, and people can obviously see that you've been playing it, that you're a pretty good player. So why don't they do that sort of thing with the online? Keep the achievements for offline campaign only, and and do it that way. Because I mean, I'm not being funny, but what happens if Joe Blogs hasn't got the internet? That they haven't got Xbox Live. And they're a bit of a gamer score whore. Like I can be at times, or I'm guessing you can be at times as well, Kyle.
Oh yeah,
You
definitely.
know, and to me, it does mean that it gives people a reason to go through your campaign again. Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you make
Well,
them those obscure ones where it would get you to go through the campaign a few times, and you get a decent amount of gamer score for it, not like put the disc in and get 10 gamer score for it.
well, bringing it back to Black Ops and on that subject, really, uh, their latest bit of DLC for it, well, the last bit anyway. You've got it's worth 100 gamer score. I'm guessing it's going to be worth a gold on the PS3, a gold trophy or whatever it is now. I've forgotten. It's been that while. It's been a long time since I've been on PS3.
Yeah, trophy.
Yeah, trophies. I'm pretty sure it is. They had a achievement that you could only get through doing the zombies, and it's worth 100 gamer score, and it's one that's really quite hard to do, and it's a secret one, and it's unique to that game, and it's and as it just stated, it is supposed to be kept secret, and it's one you really need to work at in order to achieve. But this one is, one that I think you need to have a group of people online to play. I don't know whether you're actually able to achieve it on your lonesome, but it'll be worth having a look at.
Yeah, I mean, they've announced that it's going to be in sort of like two halves. The first half's going to be the follow-on from Black Ops 1, and then the second half of the game of Black Ops 2 is going to be set in 2025, where you've got loads of robots, advanced weaponry, and I think basically what they've done is they've looked at Modern Warfare, and they've looked at the fact that not Call of Duty, Ghost Recon Future Soldier is coming out this year as well, and I think they're going to they're trying to take some of the tech and stuff like that, which is futuristic in a way, and
I hope they don't ruin it with this whole futuristic look and weaponry and everything.
I think it could be a good spin on it, because I always said, where do you go from the Modern
Oh,
Warfare?
it's going to be a very interesting spin, but the thing is, if they get it wrong with the technology, well, the future technology or supposed future technology, they could blow it out of the water before it's even started. Without one, in my opinion, they could ruin it and make it too space age. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't, to be honest with you, it doesn't actually look too space aged. I mean, I read a post somewhere that somebody said that the robots don't look real, and I'm thinking, well, it's a video game; they're not gonna look real, are they? It's one of the many daft things you can read about on the internet. These daft posts. I mean, I'll raise my hands up. I'm one of the ones that's likely to do that as well. But so far, apparently Amazon have in the UK have turned around and said that the pre-orders for Black Ops 2 is triple that of Black Ops 1. So in the same space of time, that there is a pre-order bonus which will be launched in 4 different waves. Right now, a pre-order will earn you a 2-sided poster as well as a Modern Warfare 3 prestige token. Personally, if you get Black Ops 2, are you going to go back to Modern Warfare 3? A lot of people got Modern Warfare 3, traded it straight in and went back to Black Ops, which obviously goes to show you how much of a good game Black Ops actually was.
Oh, it's a superb game. I mean, I got up to 15th prestige and I still play it.
So, but we obviously, nobody knows yet what the bonuses will be for what will be in the retail pre-order war, which is obviously GameStop, Walmart, Asda, Best Buy, and Amazon. That obviously constantly trying to convince potential buyers to pre-order through their stores. Um, Obviously, GameStop's using a new gamble, which is the old mystery box routine. So it'd be interesting to see what they're going to announce of what's going to be coming out and what's not going to be coming out. To further the episode 3, part 2, where we were talking about not necessarily the exclusives, but games that of this generation that we thought was must-play games. We went back and we had a look at it, and we thought that we had covered quite a lot of games that came out on Xbox as well as PlayStation 3. And the only problem there is we noticed that we had.
I'm basically made a mess of it, and I didn't mention things that I should have.
Well, it wasn't just that, we didn't actually have the time to do it either. In the time, I mean, if you think about it, we spoke for nearly an hour on what we actually talked about, and we only talked about 10 games or 10 game series. And we obviously did Halo, we did Gears of War, which are obviously both Xbox 360 exclusives. The rest of the games that we talked about, from what I can remember, were obviously multi-platform. What we didn't mention was games that are specific to
the PS3.
PS3. Games like Little Big Planet, which almost got me to buy the PlayStation 3, believe it or not, because it looked so much fun. But I couldn't justify parting with £200 for one game. So I'm going to hand it over to Kyle now, I think, because with him having the PlayStation 3 as well as the Xbox 360, he's got the best of both worlds. So do you want to fill everybody in with your wise and wonderful words on what exclusives that's on the PS3 what you would consider a must play?
Definitely. Must play is definitely on the PS3. You've got the Killzone series. I'll start with them because they're the big hitters. They're the ones that's brought a new level of gameplay to
I heard that they're
PS3.
actually they're a bit like the Gears of War, like what Gears of War is or something for the 360. So it's like the PS3's equivalent to Gears of War 3, except it hasn't had the massive
nothing like it. Nothing
hype
like it
type of thing towards it. But that's the closest thing the PS3's got to the Gears of War series, apparently. That's what I've heard, but I've not actually played it, so I can't comment on it really.
It's their version of Gears. Well, I shouldn't say it's our version, but I'm slightly biased now. Oops. It's the PS3's version of Gears. Yeah, it doesn't play. The game's nothing like Gears of War. It doesn't play anything like it whatsoever. It's a bit like the Call of Duty series in the way that it's played and all the things that is happening, but it's set on another world, on Helgen, and a little bit on Earth. There's a lot of fighting done in, different space stations and ships and landing party craft and all that other stuff, which is absolutely unbelievably nice. I remember doing half the campaign and just being blown away on the third one by, not just the graphics, but the videos that, the little cutscenes on it and the way that it followed on with the storyboard and some of the battles that you've had in the space station. Although it's, you've been there, you've done that, you shot and killed however many Helghast there possibly are, but, blah, 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 blah. It's still got that sense of the original one, which is very much like Gears of War series. Once you played the first Gears, you want to play all the way through, all the way to the third one. It's like that with the Killzone series. 1 to 3,
is it like playing a movie or something like that? Is it like, you're sitting playing a movie or something along that sort of lines, maybe?
Um, I'm not sure. I don't think so, but people will probably argue with me on that one. I don't think it's a bit like watching a movie. It's just it lives up to its title. Really, it is Killzone. It is a massive battle, and it makes you feel like a massive battle.
So in other words, it's a bit of a killer of a game then.
Yeah, pun intended. That one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely the closest thing I would say to the Gears of War series from the PS3. It's one of them you have to play the first one, and then if you love the first one, you'll bloody murder people to get your hands on the second and third. I wouldn't recommend murdering people, by the way, just figure of speech on that one. It absolutely adored it. The best one for me was online on the first one. Very few people remember it. The first one was actually on. I'm guessing it. Yeah, it was. It was on the PS2.
I was going to say, I thought the first one was on the PS2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was just my bad memory then. Yeah, back on the PS2, you've got really unique guns. And I mean, back in them days where Space Age were, it was all right, but it were Space Age back in them days was you either really, really far in the future where nothing resembles,
Present.
down, yeah, exactly, nothing resembles a present, or your latest and up to date present with a few futuristic tweaks, but they're still shit, really. This was sort of the happy medium. This was the perfect blend. You had the guns that were absolutely brilliant, but yet still slightly space age, and it was a perfect balance. The maps that you got online were extremely diverse. Considering that this is on the PS2, people. I mean, this is breaking the mold territory back in the day, and it's basically like comparing it to Call of Duty 4. I mean, the maps are legendary in my opinion. I'm sure other people would, say differently, but
Yeah, I've noticed you find that like a game that breaks the mold and is a standout game. Much like on the obviously, I'm gonna have to use Xbox analogies here, which would be like Halo 2 and Gears of War 1 and even Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Um, and games like that where they brought the mold for the multiplayer side of things, uh, even a throwback to the first Gran Turismo game. I remember playing on that. And I knew the tracks, and the tracks were absolutely fantastic. Played the second one, and I hated it. I just thought the tracks were absolutely atrocious compared to the first ones.
yeah, I
But
was trying to dodge the whole bullet of the Gran Turismo series because I'm not a big fan of
yeah,
racing games, and that one
I'm
was
just
not the
using that
best.
as an example because
Yeah.
everybody says if you've got a PlayStation, Gran Turismo is the racing game that you have to have or own if you enjoy a racing game as such on the PlayStation. It is effectively you always have the which console's better. I mean, you had it back where the SNES or the Mega Drive, or you had your PlayStation and I think it was the N64. And then obviously you had the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. And this time round you've got the PS3 and the 360. And it's the same old Sonic and Mario, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken
Yeah.
and Virtua Fighter. There's never really been a one where it's been racer specific. The only problem I've got with this one is because Gran Turismo 3 is specific to PS3,
Yes, there you go.
and then you've got the Forza games which are specific to the Xbox. So
Yeah.
you'll never see the bridge between the two of them
Them,
on the same machines.
I would say they're both sides of the same coin. If you've got an Xbox, you're definitely going to lean towards Forza. I mean, I think, in my opinion, that's the best one for the Xbox. If you on PlayStation, there is that mini argument in itself. You can go the route of Gran Turismo's, which, I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy some of the later ones, but, that's down to personal preference. But there is stuff like Dirt Series and other racing games. But, yeah, the quintessential one for the PS3 was Gran Turismo.
You do realise that the Dirt series was originally Colin McRae.
Yeah.
And obviously when he sadly passed away, they couldn't continue using his name, obviously. And I think the year that he passed away, the game that came out was Colin McRae Dirt Track or something like that, or something daft like that. And then obviously from then on they used Dirt as the so it's all based off the Colin McRae, It's like the Tiger Woods games. They're all based off PGA Tour Golf, which started back in 1993, I think it is. I could be wrong. I could be 87, I think. Because I've got a couple of those games for the Mega Drive.
I was going to say, if anybody's going to have links to them games, it would be you with all your your list of many
consoles.
consoles.
Yes,
yeah.
Wow. But yeah, Gran Turismo 3 was obviously one of the games in the list of PS3 exclusives, even though, as you mentioned, it wouldn't be one that you would recommend because you're not a racing fan.
But having said that, I know I'm not a big racing fan. It is one to have a look into. I wouldn't say it's definite top 10 must play for the PS3, but it's one that you might want to have a look into, a sneak peek.
Yeah, rented type of thing, yeah?
Yeah.
And I know we mentioned something about the new God of War game, which was God of War Ascension. I think was it episode 3 part 1 or was it episode 2 that we mentioned that? But
not sure.
I know there's going to be a lot of hype on that coming out. God of War, from what I remember, I've never actually played any because at the time that came out on the PlayStation 2, I think the first one came out on. I think it was the PlayStation 2, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I'm sure it was PlayStation 2 that the first God of War came out. I might be thinking of Shadow of Colossus though.
I think I downloaded it on the PS3, but that was probably it could have been remix. Yeah, exactly. It could have been a HD remix. Yeah, I'm not 100% on that one, mate. Good point.
If it was, well, from what I remember, in the later years of the PlayStation 2, I was big into my Xbox. Don't get me wrong, I had the GameCube, the Xbox, and the PS2, and I spent more and more time playing on the Xbox due to games like Halo 2, for example, and so I never really got to play and enjoy the God of War games, and but from what I've seen of them, they do look quite an impressive game to play.
They really, I don't know whether I would say they actually broke the mold, because they were other games that was along the same lines.
I think it was more of a reinvention than a break in the mold.
Exactly, it was a reinvention, but what reinvention it were. It played really, I would say it played quite smoothly considering all the things that was going on at the time. Whilst you're playing it, it played really nicely. The graphics on it, considering it is PS3, the graphics are quite nice, quite good and vivid and colourful. The violence on it is, enjoyable. Let's just put it that way. The cutscenes and the single, you going up against a boss fight in it were some of the most enjoyable times you can have on a gaming console, going up against the big bosses. Especially some of the end fighting scenes when you've got the final killer blow on them, That I haven't really had an awful long time looking at the whole of the series, but Yeah, definitely one to be having a look at. Uh, would I put it on the top 10 for must have a look at and must plays? Yeah, probably.
I would definitely put it on in sort of like the top 10, just going from the look of it, even though I've not actually played the thing. So it could be really interesting to see what other people think. If you have a comment about any of the games that we're actually talking about, feel free, because I know we do a YouTube and upload it to YouTube. Put your comments there. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us at GamerMen UK on Twitter. Or at Twitter. And also, you could also put comments on the website itself of the gamermen.wordpress.com. God of War, obviously, I think personally, was a reinvention of games that were already out there.
Yeah, I think it was. I think I would agree with you on that one.
One of the other
It didn't really
games,
break the mold, but
yeah, it didn't break the
it was
mold,
good.
but another game that I thought wasn't breaking the mold, but it took what was out there at the time, reinvented what had already been out beforehand, which was the Uncharted series. Everybody knows that Tomb Raider was quite possibly one of the first machines to bring out that basically did an awful lot with sort of like puzzles and everything. And as the games went on, they became
Sorry,
more.
people, we might just have a bit of technical problems there.
What's that?
Mike, can you,
I can still hear you, mate.
Mike, sort your mic out? It's gone funny.
It's gone funny.
Yeah, but your mic's gone funny.
How's it gone? Hang on a minute. Go. So yeah, as I was saying, Uncharted series. I have to say that from the looks of it, another PlayStation game that I thought looked quite good, but it's not something that I would necessarily go for. Is basically the game looked like Tomb Raider, played a lot like Tomb Raider, and
It
obviously
looked like Tomb Raider. It played like Tomb Raider. It copied the same lines as Tomb Raider.
and it wasn't Tomb Raider. Basically, Tomb Raider, when it first came out, was more of a platform puzzler, and as the games went on, it became more and more of an action game and it lost a lot of what it was initially. So it'd be interesting to see at E3 this year what the update status is on Lara Croft Tomb Raider, which is what I've heard the rumour is that they're going to be actually naming the new game.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got Uncharted 1, 2 and 3. All came out on the PlayStation 3 as well.
Yeah. I've played Uncharted. I didn't so much play the first one. I did give the I did give the campaign a whirl and done 90% of that. I didn't actually finish it to 100%, so I can't actually say for definite, but I did do 90%. I've been reassured by a mate I didn't, that much of it. Yeah, whether he was lying to me or not is another thing. Oh well. I played the second one all the way through and online with that one as well. I thought the online was probably the best bit about Uncharted 2, because you could just go around shooting each other with RPGs, which was
pretty nifty, if you want
yeah,
to say
it
that.
was brilliant, because all you need to do is sit there with a load of mates in a half drunken or high stupor, shooting each other with the RPG rounds from half the way across the map. And if you didn't find it funny, then there's something wrong. It absolutely brilliant, just for being able to do that. The campaign itself, I didn't enjoy. I'm struggling, to be honest with you, to try and tell you the good sides of it. I know it's got a lot of good sides. The action was really good. The gameplay were good. Storyboard is one of the best storyboards. It's on par with Tomb Raider. But if you've played Tomb Raider first, you will consider this to be a bit of a piss take.
It's
It's one of them that you go, oh look, it's a male version of Tomb Raider.
Underdog.
And it plays like a male version of Tomb Raider.
One thing I'd like to do is, obviously, just sticking with Sony to begin with, is one of the most underrated and overused games, which obviously became so popular that's actually failed, or fell from grace, so to speak, due to Activision, is Guitar Hero. I mean, I remember when that came out on the PlayStation 2, the first Guitar Hero game. I absolutely loved that to bits.
Adoring it still to this day.
Oh yes, it had the best lineup for guitar game. Wait, not necessarily guitar games, but it had the best lineup for songs basically. I mean, obviously you
had the
songs
best mix as well.
I mean, you mean set lists. I mean, you had the Ramones on there. You know, I Want to Be Sedated, Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water, Black Sabbath, Iron Man, More Than a Feeling by Boston, Franz Ferdinand, Take Me Out, Killer Queen by Queen. You know, and then obviously Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie, Fat Lip, Sum 41, Audio Slave, Concise, Take It Off by the Donners. Going down, you had Jimi Hendrix, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Motorhead's Ace of Spades. You had Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla, Pantera's Cowboys from Hell, Bartleman by Ozzy Osbourne. You know, you had possibly the best,
mix
lineup.
Diversity.
I would have said it was possibly
music.
the best lineup. I mean, that was back in 2005. 2006 brought out Guitar Hero 2, which obviously came out on the Xbox 360 as well as the PlayStation 2. The game itself was I don't know. I don't think that one actually lived up to the set list of the first one.
No, it really. I don't think it fell much short, but it did fall short of the first one.
Well, to be honest with you, the only reason I bought it was it had my favourite song of all time, which is "Freebird" by Lynyrd Skynyrd, which is the only reason I actually bought it. And then obviously the only way to unlock that blooming thing was to play through the thing on the hardest blooming setting. So I never got to play it, which was a pain in the backside. But obviously, I mean, you had Guns N' Roses, "Sweet Child of Mine,"
legendary track.
Alice in Chains, "Them Bones," "Shout at the Devil" by Motley Crue, "War Pigs" by Black Sabbath, "The Trooper" by Iron Maiden, "You Really Got Me" by Van Halen. You know, and it was pretty good. It was brilliant the fact they brought it out on the 360. And then obviously Guitar Hero 3, I remember that one coming out.
I think that's where about I bought in.
Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock, is where they had the co-op versus battle mode, and that one obviously came out on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, the Wii, the 360, PC, and it apparently also came out on the Mac. Obviously.
I think it did actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it, the list of what it came out on, and it did actually come out on that. Yeah,
I'm sure it came out on the PC because I remember seeing PC versions of the guitar.
Yeah, and the other thing about it was it had what they called battle mode, which is you could do little fiddly things with it, and it would be really good. You know, be quite interesting and stuff like that. But I mean, again, the set list was even worse than the previous game. You know, I mean, you had. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the songs on it were fantastic. Some of the some of the artists that they had on it were fantastic. Just that I think they possibly picked up the incorrect incorrect songs. You know, from them people. I mean, you had
not necessarily
the Sex Pistols, for example, Anarchy in the UK. You know, you Living Colours, Cult of Personality. Your uncle will know that one.
Yeah.
Famous wrestlers using that as his theme tune at the moment. And then obviously you had things like Dead Kennedys, Muse, Sonic Youth, and it just seemed to have more of the modern stuff in it than what it did of the sort of like classic rock. It, whereas the previous two had a more um, better mix from old to new. This one had new, and that was it. More new than old. I mean, you had the Scorpions in there. You had Kiss, Slayer, Sabbath, Rolling Stones, Metallica, The Who, Alice Cooper, Guns N' Roses. You know,
Yeah.
so you had some good songs from those
Yeah,
guys, but
you've got a good lineup. It's just
not
not necessarily the
necessarily
best
this.
song choice. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously with Rock Band coming out at the same time as that one, obviously you didn't have, Rock Band sold more than what Guitar Hero 3 sold because you were able to have the drums and, and all that, and obviously that one came out in 2007. 2008, which is a year later, saw Guitar Hero World Tour, which is obviously Guitar Hero 4,
Yeah.
which obviously it brought out the drums, it brought out yeah, I think it was this the first one that they brought out the drums and that with, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Then obviously this one, obviously same thing again. PlayStation 3, 360, Wii, PS2, PC, and Mac. And obviously they released a thing called GH Tunes, which is basically where you could download you extra songs to play and stuff like that.
I've got a hard drive full of extra downloadable songs.
Yeah, and I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I've not actually. I don't. Actually, I think I might actually have that one somewhere because I have a few of these games. And obviously the set list on this one again, it's got sort of like Nirvana, System of a Down, Muse, Lenny Kravitz. It even had Michael Jackson on there, Ozzy Osbourne, Blink 182, Sting, Foo Fighters. Fleetwood Mac, Korn, Van Halen, the Eagles.
Did you
Uh,
say Corn?
yep, it had a song by Korn on there, believe it or not.
Oh, bloody hell.
What song did they do on there? It was Freak on a Leash.
One of the best ones that they've done.
Yeah, it also had Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
Paramore's on there. Ozzy Osbourne, Lacuna Coil, Motorhead, Tool. And I wouldn't even like to pronounce half of the blooming names of the songs for fear of getting them wrong.
I bet Laguna Coil were good on there. I'm still waiting to come across that one.
Coldplay, Shiver, the mighty Coldplay, as some would put it. Even had Oasis on there, No Doubt as well, Smashing Pumpkins, Linkin Park, and Hush
Would have
Puppies.
Linkin Park.
And then obviously after that one, they released a year later. They released Guitar Hero 5,
Yeah.
which would be in 2009. Also in this year, one to note, they also released Band Hero, which was actually a spin-off, and they also released Guitar Hero Smash Hits in 2009, as well as band-related ones, which was Guitar Hero Aerosmith, Metallica, and Van Halen.
Van Halen. Don't forget, they've done Warriors of Rock, which is one that I'm currently sat in front of me.
That was the last one in 2010, mate.
Yep.
In 2008, they released Guitar Hero Aerosmith, and they also released Guitar Hero On Tour and Guitar Hero Decades. And obviously, as you can tell, they kind of milked the Guitar Hero sort of series really badly, which is part of the reason why it collapsed basically.
It collapsed under its own weight because there's there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. It's getting boring now.
The problem that they had, it was what they should have done was those games that they brought out where it was Aerosmith, Metallica, etc., should have been brought out as DLC, not hard copies.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If they did it just as the DLC download,
They would, I
you pay
mean,
your £5 and you get the whole of Metallica album on there.
yeah,
That would have been a
which is
lot
what
better
they,
doing.
which is what they did with Rock Band. With Rock Band 2, they brought out the Rock Band store, which meant they were able to put more and more songs out, which they still do, even though Rock Band hasn't had another. I mean, they finished with it as Rock Band 3, but they've added more and more, more and more stuff on there. I mean, um, Rock Band, with Guitar Hero 5, for example, which I'm still trying to get hold of a copy of. There's Iron Maiden, T-Rex, Vampire Weekend, Bob Dylan, The Killers, Jimmy Eat World, Wolf Mother, White Stripes, Arctic Monkeys, Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Idol, Children of Boredom, Rammstein, No Doubt, David Bowie, Gorillaz, Beastie Boys, and Coldplay, Space Hog, Thin Lizzy, Three Doors Down, Motley Crue, Iggy Pop, Queens of the Stone Age, AFI, Kaiser Chiefs, and a lot of the people. I mean, I would never have classed Elton John as rock. I would have classed him as pop. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what was the other one that I saw there in the list? Beastie Boys. I would class them as pop. They're not rock.
Well, thing is, one that I found along the same lines, Rammstein. Possibly one of my favourite bands. I'm still singing along to them as I'm playing Guitar Hero. I still know them all word for word. And I was looking at the bottom of it, and it still had that, list under rock.
Yeah.
Since when has Rammstein been under rock? It's metal, if anything.
Yeah, but metal is a form of rock.
Oh yeah, that I know.
But when have you known hip hop being a form of rock?
Yeah, it's.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can maybe get away with No Doubt and probably Elton John because it's pop rock. Do you know what I mean? But because obviously, if you wanted to hit off with, because they've got things like Motley Crue down as metal and Iggy Pop down as punk. Do you know what I mean? So to me,
the classifications are a bit nah.
Yeah, I mean they've got Johnny Cash in there, Ring of Fire, and it burns,
burns the burning ring of fire.
Exactly, yeah, that's country, but you can get away with it because it's played on a guitar. The bulk of it is played on a guitar. Do you know what I mean? It's like Rock Band when they're putting people in that's like Pink. Pink on Rock Band, it's like, hang on a minute, she's not rock, she's pop, she's hip hop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously the final nail in the coffin for Guitar Hero was Warriors of Rock. Obviously, that was the last one.
Last one, the one that I've got the guitar for, and the copy sat in front of me now, and 99.99% played through it, and I'm still going to go back and do it all over again.
Yeah, well, it's one of a series that you can pick up, you can play to death, put it down, play other games, but you'll always go back. I mean, it's a fantastic game to play when you're pissed as a fart. You know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah. Get a load of mates, get them drunk as anything, and then play that.
Oh, I
definitely.
I can get away with playing on medium, but I can't play any further than that. Just on the basis my fingers lock up and stuff.
I can't be asked to play it on the hard difficulties. I just play it on easy and have a good time playing it.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel a bit of a challenge, I'll go on to the medium setting. But if I just want to be able to blast away and feel like I'm playing the guitar as part of it, I mean, it's got Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody on that one. I'd love to have a go at playing that. What else is there on there? Let's have a look. Bodies by Drowning Pool.
Yeah, I've played that as well. That was on there. That's an awesome song.
Yeah.
And to be playing that, playing guitar on that song, listening to it through your headphones or something, if you got it wired up to your Xbox and you've got decent headphones whilst you're playing your guitar to it.
I mean,
one of the best experiences.
Like you've got Nickelback's "How You Remind Me," REM's
Yeah.
"Losing My Religion." Let's have a look. What else you got? "Paranoid" by Metallica and Ozzy. That should be an interesting one. Def Leppard, "Pour Some Sugar on Me." Well, that is
Yeah,
Def
that.
Leppard are brilliant. One of the bands I actually enjoy listening to. Two Steps Behind and what's the other one? Love and Hate Collide. I think that's brilliant. The theme from the Spider-Man that the Ramones did. That's on there. What else we got on there? Well, there's a hell of a lot on there from Rush, which I'm guessing there must have been a special thing on there.
Yeah, they've
Twisted
got
Center, Twisted Sister even, not Twisted Center, and Nine Inch Nails.
Rammstein as well. They've got them on. I've
So,
forgotten what song, but yeah, I've got them on.
but yeah, I mean, you've got a load of packs on there. You've got Soundgarden, Disturbed, Linkin Park,
Yeah.
Alice Cooper, My Chemical Romance. And personally, I think that what they should have done with Guitar Hero is there's gone something like Guitar Hero full band, or left it with moved it from Guitar Hero to Band Hero, and then basically set up shop, done a bit maybe it's Band Hero 2 or something like that, and then left it at that and just constantly brought out updates of songs that people are wanting to play. To me, that is the way that they should have done it, and that is the way that they would have made a hell of a lot of money on it from the downloadable content rather than anything else. And that is basically the downfall. That we're bringing out far too many, thing. Part of the other thing that I think killed off the Rhythm series was they thought they'd be clever and bring out a DJ Hero,
Oh,
which
was just a.
diabolical. I mean, you can pick DJ Hero 1 and 2, you can pick that up with a deck for around about 15 quid.
And it's only worth a tenner.
So I paid a tenner for both with the deck, and they got put in the console, and it was in the console for a whole of 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought of it as well.
Yeah. So obviously, Activision's Vice President Dan Winters has clarified that they're putting the Guitar Hero on hiatus, and they're just not making any new games, and that was back in 2010. 2011 interview with Forbes and Kotick, or Kotick should I say, stated that while the publisher is going to stop selling Guitar Hero altogether, they're going to go back into the studios with it and going to use new studios and reinvent the series. Personally, I don't think they can actually reinvent the series. I think,
To be honest, mate, I just think they need to go with Warriors of Rock, which is the Guitar Hero 6. Bring out a shitload of DLC, and everybody will be happy.
Well, they've wound it down. I think they need to maybe look at the because Harmonix were the ones that built it originally, and then in 2007, Neversoft took over it with Vicarious Visions. And I personally think that it was the biggest downfall. They should never have took Harmonix and Red Octane away from doing it myself. I think they should have left it 2 years between each one. It's like it's just like Activision though. They did the same thing with what was it? They did the same thing with the Tony Hawk's games. They were bringing one out year after year after year. Did you know there was a game called Tony Hawk's Ride?
Yeah.
I think they brought one out after that as well, which flopped completely.
They brought out way too many, way too fast.
It was brought out, the one that came after Tony Hawk's Ride, and they brought it out, and it was pulled from the shelves, I think, because it flopped massively. People weren't interested in Tony Hawk's anymore, because you had...
you had 1, 2, and 3 in the space of, 2 years or something stupid like that.
No, you had them one each year. I mean, you had Tony Hawk's, which was good, because it was all downhill, and you had to do it all downhill. Then they brought out Tony Hawk's 2, where you had, an arena to play, and then Tony Hawk's 3 was an expansion on that. Tony Hawk's 4 was an expansion on that. What was after Tony Hawk's 4? I think it was Tony Hawk's Underground, wasn't it? Then you had
Yeah,
Underground
Underground.
2. Then you had Project 8. Then you had... What the hell was after Project 8? Was it not the ride after Project 8? I think it got up to something like 9, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and let's have a look. You know, it does. Yeah, you know,
It begs belief.
I mean,
It's
it was absolutely diabolical. I mean, you know, here we go. You had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in 1999. It came out on the PlayStation, the N64, the Dreamcast, Game Boy Color, and the N-Gage. Then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which came out in 2000, was let's have a look. You had PlayStation, N64, Dreamcast, Windows, Mac, iPhone, iPod Touch, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Xbox. Then you had the Pro Skater 3, which came in 2001, which was PlayStation, PlayStation 2, GameCube, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, N64, Xbox, and Windows. Then you had Pro Skater 4, which was in 2002, which was PlayStation, PlayStation 2, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, Windows, Mac, Xbox, and Tap Wave Zodiac, whatever the hell that is, because I've never even heard of that before. And then you had Tony Hawk's Underground. It came out in 2003. And then you had Underground 2, which came out in 2004. Then you had The American Wasteland, which came out in 2005. Also, to note, you had in 2005 American Skateland, which was the handheld version on the DS and Game Boy Advance. Then you had Project 8 on PlayStation 2, PS3, Xbox 360 and PSP. But also on top of that, you had Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam in 2006 on PlayStation 2, DS, Game Boy Advance and the Wii. On top of that, in 2007 you had Proven Ground, which was PlayStation 2, PS3, DS, Wii and 360. Then you had in 2008 Tony Hawk's Motion, which was on the DS. And obviously you'll note that there was a 2-year gap between Tony Hawk's Proving Ground and Tony Hawk Ride, which was the one that came out with the skateboard attachment, which was PlayStation 3, Wii and 360, which came out in 2009.
Yeah, I think I remember having the little skateboard attachment thing.
Yeah, Tony Hawk Shred, which was the one that came out in 2010, was the 11th game in the series, and the second one to be developed by Robomondo. And apparently, it was basically exactly the same, but the skateboard had been the same game as Tony Hawk Ride, but it had been improved over the previous version of the game. What I don't think was a very good idea in what they did was obviously year upon year release without really any sort of difference on it. 2012 sees Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, which when that comes out, I have a chance to buy that on the arcade. It's only coming out on the PlayStation Network, on the PlayStation Xbox Live Arcade. But it's gone back to the old Pro Skater series, where it was Tony Hawk's 1, 2, 3, and 4, where you had the arena.
I have had a look recently on Xbox Arcade, and I did come across the Skate series.
And so basically, to me, it's. I mean, you had daft guest characters. This is how bad it was getting. I mean, let's have a look. Pro Skater 2, you had Spider-Man. Pro Skater 3, you had Darth Maul, Wolverine, Doom Guy, Demoness, and Kelly Slater. Pro Skater 4, you had Django Fett, Eddie from which is Iron Maiden's mascot. Iron Man was in Underground, so was Gene Simmons and Thud, whatever the hell that was. Underground 2 had Jesse James, Steve-O, Phil Margera, Bigfoot and Shrek, as well as a COD soldier. Benjamin Franklin. American Wasteland had Lil Jon, Jason Ellis, Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day. Project 8 had Jason Lee, Travis Barker from Blink-182, The Grim Reaper from the Guitar Hero series. Proving Ground had Judy Nails from the Guitar Hero series. So it's kind of like they were just trying to add more and more bull crap into the games as it went on. You know, I mean, did you ever play any of them with those characters in?
With those particular characters, yes, I'm pretty sure I did.
So,
It's been a while, but I do remember playing the 1, 2, 3, and I think I got up to 4.
Yeah, I mean, personally, the best one for me was either Pro Skater 2 or Pro Skater 3.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it. I think the second one I most enjoyed just because you can make your own maps and ride around and invite your friends in. I think that was a big thing, but I'm not sure whether you can actually do that nowadays.
So yeah, it's you know, that's what I would say anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's just about time to wind down now. I've been Firestorm.
And I've been the Earther known as Mike. And till next time, carry on gaming, have fun, and be good to each other online.
Play nice.
Exactly.